Kelly here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you some of the projects I made for my first ever diving into Happy Mail. So I am going to just start pulling everything apart, showing you what I made, and then I think I might leave the camera running and just show you the process of how I'm going to package all this. I have no idea how I'm going to do that. So you might get to see a lot of it, or you might not get to see hardly any of it because I might edit out quite a bit. So we'll see what happens. But let me show you what I have created and kind of take you on a little tour. So here we go. So here is what I have made. It started with, it's kind of a big pile of mess, but it started with these two little pockets. This is the first thing I made. And it was, everything here was pretty much started with the inspiration from I Am Absolutely Alice, you might know where I was either, and on Kate's desk. So Kate and Alice were doing or are doing this Halloween collaboration, and I talked about it in a previous video, which I will link here. And I was completely inspired. I wanted to jump into this whole little Happy Mail arena. I didn't really have anybody to send it to start with, but as I started working, I quickly thought of a friend who I think will really enjoy some of these things. So, but this was the first thing I started with. I didn't have a lot of supply at that point as far as Halloween goes, so I just printed out a lot of digital elements. So I have the Hey Pumpkin and After Dark from Crepe Paper. I actually pretty much only used the Hey Pumpkin and then a few other little pieces, but I'll kind of walk through most of those. So I sewed together this little pocket, and it's just, I believe this is digital paper. Yeah, and then I just backed it onto some white cardstock, ran it through my sewing machine, added these little bits. I had some black crepe paper, so I sewed a strip of that into like this little ribbon banner and added that on. I have a bunch of ideas on how to do these in the future, and I'm excited because I am going to do a whole bunch of this for Christmas. So this was kind of like my trial run at this whole Happy Meal thing, but yeah. Let's see how many times I say Happy Meal versus Happy Mail. My goodness. Okay, Happy Mail. Okay, so I have these two little pockets, and then here's the other one I made. I added an extra little vellum layer on the front to give it a little pocket, and then what I have stuck inside are these little rosettes. Yeah, I think that's what we'll call them. And all I did was I just backed them on some acetate, and I threw on some little clear stickers. These are stickers, if I can find them, that I just printed onto clear sticker paper from the Hey Pumpkin collection, the digital collection. I just made a little sticker sheet, and then I used those to decorate some of the acetate pieces that I've used as backers. And then I thought I would just add a little extra pattern paper behind that. So I've got these little guys. And as I started going through and making these, I started bulking them up. So, and when I say bulking them up, what I mean is that I would make them in bulk. So, and I'm kind of weird that I want things to be even and equal. So if there's two of this, then I wanted another two. So I made another two to kind of go with this whole little pocket thing. So again, I just backed it with some paper that I printed and made these little ones, and I wanted them to be similar. So I used the same foundation. Black crepe paper that I punched with a paper punch, some vellum, and some orange tissue paper that I made into a little rosette. So those will get tucked in here. And then I punched a little corner and an eyelet, and I'm going to make some little charms for that. And I might make those towards the end of this video and put it in so you can see how that turns out. So I have those guys. And then I made these little, on my silhouette, I cut out these little haunted houses, and I adjusted it because it had like a railing across here, but that made for very tiny little holes. So I just put some on my in the software, I just put out some blocks to black that out. I hope that makes sense. But I don't know if you guys can see, but there's like a little silhouette of a vampire there, but also like kind of Grim Reaper-ish. He's like got a sickle, so that's kind of weird. I just threw a little bit of washi tape across it and then a photo corner. And then this little rosette, it's not really a rosette, it's like a ruffle, a tissue paper ruffle. I put it on a little piece of acetate, and then I have the acetate so that it'll tuck into the little photo corner, which you guys probably can't really see. It's probably difficult to see what I'm doing here, but I'll lift it up. So it just tucks in there, and then it just kind of sits like that so that the house can be reused. And then this is its own little embellishment. So I have that, and I made 2 of those. So I have those 2. Oh, goodness. Goodness. Get that guy on there. So I have 2 of those. So next I created these 2 pieces. So I did these 3 together and these 3 together. So they're just, again, a little rosette. Well, actually, they're kind of big. You can see they're actually pretty big. But I kept to just the same kind of color scheme here. But for this, I kept it all to the pretty classic black and orange. And then, again, I backed it on some of that acetate with a couple of clear stickers. So this one says I put a spell on you, and I used a little witch sequin and some little glittery dimensional dot things. I don't know what those are. Here I've got the potion bottle, and I've used, you could see this, I've used a lot of foam, and what I use most of the time for this is just a big sheet of craft foam. This was like a really big sheet, like a 9 by 12 or 12 by 18, or I don't know. It was huge. And I just cut up pieces of it, and then I'll use that for any of this kind of dimensional stuff. And I end up with like usually a little pile on my desk of teeny tiny ones. And then I also, if I don't want it to be quite as dimensional, I will take just regular cardstock and maybe cut a few strips and layer them on top of each other just to give it a little extra dimension. So I've done that throughout most of these projects. So that's those rosettes. And then I did another set, and this time I used some of that blue. So, and then for this set, I really liked the idea of offsetting the foundation circles or creating some sort of offsetting so that it gave it a little more interest. So that was new to me. I don't typically do that. I'm usually more like all centered. So that was really fun to play with. I made a couple of these little vellum shaker pockets. So I've printed the skeleton on some vellum, and then I just backed it with some paper, some, again, printed digital papers, a few pieces of the After Dark collection snuck in, like this skeletons from After Dark, and this background paper. It's probably kind of hard to see. Where's my camera? It's like it looks like a dictionary page, like an old kind of dictionary page. And then I just put in some sequins and a few little gems on top and made these cute little shaker pockets. So I have 2 of those. So I have 2 sets of these. I just used crepe paper to create these ribboned banners. I sewed them, and I changed up the color here a little bit. I wanted to bring in a little bit of that like minty teal color, although on this one it's like very minimal, but I kind of felt like I committed to it when I started using it on the for the stitching. So I just pulled it in a little bit here and there, this little Frankenstein guy, and then the stitching behind it. Hopefully I'm centered enough, sorry. And then here I just put the word eek with these really fun foam stickers, letter stickers, alpha stickers. Those are from Citrus Twist Kits, one of my monthly kits. So I have that one, and then this one over here has a little ghost, a little hey pumpkin, and boo to you. I kind of kept the pumpkin thing going on over here, and this was like more like anti-pumpkin. So now here's where I started to just want to play and experiment. So I kind of stopped doing everything in 2s of like, in my head I had 2 packages going. Here's where I kind of deviated from that, but I created these little like banners. I can't remember where the inspiration came from this. I think I saw them in one of on Kate's Desk's videos, and I don't remember if she made them or if somebody gave them to her in like a swap, but I'm pretty sure that's where the idea kind of originated from. And I'll be linking in below, I'll be linking on Kate's Desk and Absolutely Alice, because that's where all of my inspiration kind of jumped off from. So you can kind of, you know, do what I did, like down the rabbit hole. I clicked on Alice, and then I would click on Kate's videos, and then I would kind of just watch some of their older videos. And so by the time I got done, like, my inspiration was coming from every which way. So oh, this little guy got moved. I've got a lot of learning to do on like what works well for adhesives and what kind of works well for gluing and all that stuff. So we'll get there. But this was really fun. I just took and sewed the little foundation pieces all in a line. So sewed them all together, and then I just embellished, and I really love how these turned out. This was fun. I had never really thought to do something like that. So that I really had a lot of fun with. These were the first 3 rosettes that I made, or at least these 2 were. I think I added this one later, but this was when I didn't have that much stuff to work with, and I had some tissue paper and then basically just the die cuts that I had cut out. And these were really fun. This little vampire guy is super cute, and I love this little haunted house kind of thing. So here I just put a little strip of washi on the bottom and backed them with that. So I printed out a second sheet of those clear stickers, so I'm going to send these to my friend because I know she'll really like those. And then here are all of the other little bits. So this is kind of where I got into just experimenting and playing. I really wanted to get better at shaker cards and things like that, so I made this little coffin, put the little skeleton in there, and then I've got some sequins. And then I don't know if you guys have had a chance to see, grab a couple of them. I had talked about these in a different video. They're called diamond dots, D-O-T-Z, I think. They're for some sort of craft where, like, I want to call it like bedazzling. I don't really know, but they're awesome in shaker pockets. So, and they're cheap and you get a lot. So I used a lot of those. So here is just a random shaker pocket that I made with some of those little diamond dots things. These were super cute, but super, like, I didn't know what to do with them. I printed these super cute little skeleton people onto vellum, and then I kind of got stuck because I made them really little. And then what I did was I ended up, because it comes, what you see here, it comes inside this frame. But what I did was I went back into my silhouette and I cut out extras, and I just put like an oval in the middle to just block that out so it wouldn't cut out the person, and filled it in. And then I cut extra frames, and so this is actually the black cardstock frame on top of the vellum piece on top of printed paper, and there's a few sequins in there, but it's cute, but it didn't quite do what I wanted it to. The effect, I don't know what I was hoping for, and then I just sewed it around here, and again, it's pretty janky, but it's black on black, so it's, unless you're really looking, it's kind of hard to tell. But anyway, they're really cute, so I think she could probably find something fun to do with those. Here's another sequin shaker pocket that I made, and like the other one, if you could see this, I put just some of those clear stickers on just to decorate them up a little bit. This one says trick or treat, and again, she can cut that open if she wants to get the goodies out. Here's just a little bundle of baker's twine, and I just put a little piece of paper around it, stapled it with a little extra embellishment that says eek. I think like packaging this stuff is where the fun comes in, probably for me especially. Here is just a little piece of this mesh with this like silver foil. I didn't really use silver in anything, so I didn't use this on any of my projects, but it's really fun, and I don't think you need much. I think like even if you snipped a little off and kind of tucked it in behind something, I think that would be really cool. So I'm just going to give her a little bit of that. Let's see. I think I showed this in my other video, but I made a couple more. Actually, I made only one more. Another washi sample. I'm going to decorate this up a little bit here before I package it. So this orange, though, is kind of weird. I got it in like a tube of washis. There's a couple other ones. I don't know where they are right now, but there's not much on a roll, and it was on clearance at Joann's. It was really cheap, so I picked up a bunch of them, but this isn't really the right orange for this project, but I know she could use it for other stuff, so I'm going to send it anyway. And I didn't use any of this washi, but I know she'll really like it, and it kind of fits. And then some gold, and then I think I'm going to tuck this one in too, so she'll get 2 washi samples. And then the rest of this stuff, some of it is things I made, and then just some of it's things that are going to get packaged in. So let me try to pull all the other stuff I made out. So here I played around with the coffin shape, and I just sewed on a little piece of vellum to make this little pocket. I just tore it, and then I've just stuck inside of it a bunch of little word banners and strips, so she can use those to her heart's content. Some little embellishments, put a little tassel or little finishing bit at the top. After I made it, I kind of wondered if I should have stitched around it, but I was not going to go back and do that. So, and then I saw in one of it, Absolutely Alice's videos, she had done all these like little itty bitty strips of sequin shaker pockets, and like in my mind it's like a little sequin sampler. So I loved that. I thought that was really fun, and what a cute little embellishment she made to tuck into something. So I played around with that. I made some of those. I made this itty bitty one, which was super cute and fun. My sewing machine was like, hey, you want a what? But we got it done. And this is all using like acetate, like transparency acetate. So that's all I have. So I kind of think I want to find like clear vinyl. I think that would be a little more flexible and work better. I don't even know if that's a thing, so I'm gonna look around. But again, I just put in a little sample, those diamond dots and some washi. I didn't mix it before I just poured it in, and I didn't mix it, and I kind of did that intentionally. I kind of liked this look, and then I just stuck on that little sticker on there. This was super fun, but this was one of those experiences of this gold hexagon glittery stuff went everywhere. So that was not cool. So that's why there's so much in here, because it spilled into it, and then it was just, ugh, whatever. So I just added in extra sequins, and I just sewed all the way around. And in this one, I didn't realize it at first, but I had black thread on the top. I don't know, probably got a technical term. And then orange was in the spool on the bottom. And so I didn't realize that till I started it. And I thought, we're gonna leave it. It's fine. It's kind of cool. It's interesting. So I left that in actually for I think one or two other things too, because I thought, why not? But yeah, so this has got two different threads, and I just love this little witchy girl. And I put a little bat there, so that's a fun little coffin. Here's one more of those little sequin sampler strips, and I turned this one into a tag and popped a little eyelet in there, a few more threads, little stickers, and then let's see, this one's coming apart here. I used red line tape on these, but I don't know, might have to firm these up a bit. Seems a little off. But I did some of those, what do you call these? Paperclip flags, banners. I've made these in the past, so this wasn't entirely new to me, but they're fun to make. So I just did two of those, a little ribbon, little tool. Little tool behind it, little ribbon behind it, a couple of jemmies. I never would have called them jemmies, but I've heard Absolutely Alice call them that 100 times, because I've watched most of her videos like 4 times each. And now I'll always forever call them jemmies, which is funny to me because it's not a normal word in my vocabulary. And this one I kept really plain with just the tool and a little bit here. Yeah, this needs, what happened here? I have to fix this. Something ain't right. Okay, I'll have to fix that one. I don't like that. Okay, so that's kind of it for what I made, I think. So now let me show you the other little pieces that kind of goes towards like this happy mail. Didn't say it. That I'm going to package up for her, for them, for it, whatever. I have some of the cut aparts, so I'm going to include a little packet of these little cut apart cards. Absolutely Alice is super generous and made these little words that you can download from one of her videos, which I'll link below. And they are just PDFs, and she has all these Halloween-y words. There's a black sheet and a white sheet, or maybe multiples. And so I just cut them down into little word strips, and then I went a little further and cut them individually. And so I spent the morning doing that. That took forever. So I'm going to use some of these for decorating, and then I'll save them for next year. But then I ended up having enough to make 2 little glassine bag packets of them. So I'll send those out. I bought a whole bunch of these mini little notebooks from the Target dollar spot. So I pulled a couple of those out. And then I got some coordinating little pencils, so those would be really fun. And then I went ahead and I made a bunch of what I'm calling foundation pieces that I'm going to package up. So let me grab those and I'll show you what those look like. Okay, friends, in an effort to hurry this along, I'm going to speed up the rest of this because I do a lot of chit-chatting and I think you have heard me talk long enough. So let's do this. So these are the foundation pieces I'm going to include. It's basically just a lot of extras that I had cut that I didn't use. So there were different pieces for my silhouette, the spider webs. These little tag pieces were really cute. I ended up not using them, but I think my friend will use them. They're some basics, very cute. Sorry about all the hand gesturing. Like I said, I was talking through this, but I'm gonna hurry this up. So these are extra pieces that I had cut out from the transparency, just those skeleton couple, extra skeletons. That coffee cup is really cute. She's a coffee lover like me, so I think she'll really like that. And then these other pieces I had just printed on vellum. So I'm just going to include those in a little pouch for her. She might be able to find a use for them. They were cute. I didn't want to just throw them away. These were some pieces that I was experimenting with and some leftovers from when I created those little crepe paper ribbons. So I'm going to package those up. I also wanted to play around with the lace. I probably would have used that had I worked with the After Dark collection, but with the Hey Pumpkin, it kind of didn't fit. So I'm just going to go ahead and give this to my friend. It's just some pieces that I've sewn together. I've got some of the tulle that I sewed into ruffles. And then, yeah, I think I'll just hand that to her, and if she wants to use it, great. If she doesn't, no problem. This crepe paper ruffle that I tried to do was not friendly to my sewing machine, so I wanted to have a long roll of it. Ended up with just these 2 little parts, but I figured she could probably clip them apart and use them. And then finally, these last pieces here are just, again, what I'm calling kind of like foundation basics. So I've used a couple of different paper punches, a scallop punch, round punch into various sizes. And then I just went through and punched out a bunch of the pattern papers, some basic blacks. And then I also added in a few pieces of vellum punched out just for some interest, and just kind of piled them all together. So I'm going to end up putting those in a package for her and she can use them. I didn't really well, they all coordinate, but I didn't really go through and like really think that through. I think it'll just be fun for her to have to play with. So I'm including those. And then finally there was this paper that I had printed out that had like, it almost looked like an advent for Halloween. And it had all these really cute little images, and my little, I think that was a 1-inch punch, fit perfectly. So I just punched those all out. So there you have it. That is the end of my project share. I am going to be sharing the packaging in a separate video because this one already is 25 minutes basically. It's pretty long. So thanks for sticking around with me, and I'll just see you on the packaging side. So I had a lot of fun packaging, and I really hope you'll come back and check out that video when it is up and posted. Thanks, friends.